First-class crew tried to kick her out. The captain's announcement left the plane silent. No one noticed her at first. That's how these moments usually begin. First class was calm, almost unreal in its quiet luxury. Soft leather seats, low voices, the faint hum of the engines preparing for departure. Passengers settled in with the confidence of people who were used to being there. Executives scrolling on phones, a couple sipping champagne, a man adjusting his cufflinks like the mirror owed him respect. Then she walked in, a black woman, mid-30s, calm posture. Simple, elegant coat. No designer logos screaming for attention. Just a small carry-on and a boarding pass folded neatly in her hand. She paused for half a second, scanning the seat numbers. That pause was enough. A flight attendant noticed. Her smile didn't disappear. It tightened. "Ma'am," the attendant said, stepping slightly into the aisle. The woman looked up, polite. "Yes?" "This is the first-class cabin." "I know," the woman replied gently. A few heads turned. Not fully, just enough. The attendant glanced at the boarding pass in her hand, then didn't take it. "May I see your ticket?" The woman handed it over without hesitation. The attendant studied it longer than necessary. Her fingers stopped moving. Her eyes flicked to the seat number. Then, a quick look at the woman's shoes. Her coat, her face. Another attendant joined her, whispered something. Passengers noticed now. A man 2 seats away leaned back slightly, pretending not to listen while listening to everything. A woman across the aisle paused her drink mid-air. The second attendant spoke. "There might be a mistake." The woman's expression didn't change. "There isn't." That answer landed heavier than expected. The attendant's tone shifted, still polite, but firm. "Ma'am, could you please step out into the aisle?" Silence crept in, thin but sharp. The woman stood. Not rushed. Not defensive. Just steady. She stepped into the aisle, holding her boarding pass like it was a receipt, not a shield. One of the attendants gestured toward the rear of the plane. "We'll sort this out." The woman didn't move. "I'm seated correctly," she said. Calm, clear, no anger. Now the aisle felt too small. Passengers were openly watching. No one spoke, but the judgment was loud. Some faces showed doubt, others irritation. One man shook his head slightly, like delays offended him personally. The attendant's jaw tightened. "Ma'am, if you don't cooperate—" "I am cooperating," the woman replied softly. "I'm just not wrong." That sentence did something. It unsettled them. A senior crew member arrived, sharper uniform, colder eyes. She didn't look at the woman first. She looked at the attendants. "What's going on?" "She's refusing to move," one said quickly. The senior crew member turned to the woman. "This cabin is restricted." The woman nodded. "Yes, that's why I booked it." A pause. Then quietly, "Who authorized your ticket?" The question hung in the air, wrong in ways no one wanted to name. The woman inhaled once. "Your airline did." A few passengers shifted uncomfortably now. The senior crew member smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "We'll need to verify." She gestured again, firmer. This time, a security officer standing near the galley took a step forward. That's when the plane changed. The luxury, the comfort gone. Now it felt like a courtroom where the verdict had already been whispered. The woman looked at the officer, then back at the crew. "Before you move me," she said calmly, "you might want to check the system again." The senior crew member raised an eyebrow. "We already did." The woman tilted her head slightly. "Then check who approved the upgrade." That name, upgrade, rippled through the cabin. First-class passengers exchanged looks. Upgrades weren't random. They were earned, or bought, or granted for reasons most people never questioned. The senior crew member hesitated, just for a second. Then she turned to the attendant. "Call the cockpit." The attendant blinked. "The captain?" "Yes." That word landed like thunder. The woman finally sat back down, slowly, without being told to. No one stopped her. The call went through, and somewhere beyond the closed cockpit door, a voice was listening. The cabin waited. Uncomfortable, curious, quiet. No one knew yet that the next announcement wouldn't just clear a seat. It would silence the entire plane. Comment below. What you think, is crew right or not? The cabin stayed quiet, but it wasn't calm anymore. It was the kind of silence where everyone pretends to mind their own business while memorizing every detail. The woman sat back in her seat, hands folded in her lap. Calm, almost too calm. Not defiant, Not nervous. Just certain. The senior crew member stood a few steps away, arms crossed now. The attendant returned from the galley. Captain says to verify through the system. Again? One attendant whispered. Yes, again. A tablet appeared. Fingers tapped faster this time. No small talk, no smiles. Across the aisle, a man leaned toward his wife. Why would the captain care? He murmured. She didn't answer. Her eyes stayed on the woman. The screen refreshed. The attendant's expression shifted. Not panic, not relief. Something closer to confusion. She scrolled, stopped, scrolled back up. Is something wrong? The senior crew member asked. The attendant hesitated. It's unusual. Unusual was never good. What does that mean? The senior crew member pressed. It means this booking wasn't processed like the others. The woman spoke gently, without turning her head. That's because it wasn't a booking. Every head snapped toward her. The senior crew member narrowed her eyes. Then what was it? The woman met her gaze for the first time. An authorization. A ripple moved through the cabin. Authorizations weren't upgrades. They weren't favors. They came from the top, or they didn't exist at all. The security officer shifted his weight. Ma'am, who authorized it? The woman paused. Not dramatic, just deliberate. Someone who doesn't like being questioned twice. That landed wrong and right at the same time. The senior crew member turned back to the tablet. Pull the internal notes. The attendant's fingers froze. Pull them, she repeated. The attendant did. Her face drained slightly. Passengers noticed. The man with the cufflink stopped pretending to read. A woman 2 rows back leaned into the aisle for a clearer view. The senior crew member read silently. Her jaw tightened. What does it say? One attendant whispered. She didn't answer. Instead, she looked toward the cockpit door. Still closed, still quiet. The woman remained seated, eyes forward. I told you, she said softly. Check who approved it. The senior crew member lowered her voice. Why didn't you say anything earlier? The woman smiled, just a little. You didn't ask the right question. That sentence changed the temperature in the cabin. This wasn't about a seat anymore. This was about who gets believed first. The senior crew member turned to the security officer. Stand down for now. He hesitated, then stepped back. A few passengers exhaled, like they'd been holding their breath without realizing it. The attendant whispered, Do we apologize? Not yet, the senior crew member said. She tapped the tablet again. I want the footage timestamp. Footage? The attendant asked. Yes, from boarding. The word spread like static. Cameras. Passengers exchanged looks. A few glanced instinctively toward the ceiling. The attendant pulled up the clip. The senior crew member watched. Rewound. Watched again. Her shoulders stiffened. What is it? The attendant asked quietly. The senior crew member swallowed. It shows who flagged her. The attendant's eyes widened. That's not... I know, she said. The woman finally turned her head slightly. You assumed. The senior crew member didn't deny it. She closed the tablet and looked around the cabin at the passengers, who had watched silently, judged quietly. At this point, she said louder now, we're waiting for the captain. The announcement chime clicked on, then off. False start. The cabin froze. No voice yet, just the hum of the engines and the weight of something about to break open. Before we get there, if you're watching this and you already feel something isn't right, hit like. Not for me. For the truth. The cockpit door remained closed. The woman sat perfectly still. And everyone aboard began to realize this wasn't about removing her. It was about exposing them. The cockpit door finally opened. Not slowly, not dramatically. It just opened. The captain stepped out. White hair, calm face, commanding presence without a single sharp movement. His eyes scanned the first-class cabin once, just once, and landed on the woman. He nodded. Not a smile. Not surprise. Recognition. Every whisper died instantly. The senior crew member straightened. The attendants froze like students who already knew their answer was wrong. The captain spoke, his voice low but firm. May I see the footage? The tablet was handed over with both hands. He didn't rush. He watched. Rewound. Watched again. Then he looked up, not at the woman, but at the crew. Who flagged her? Silence. I asked, he repeated. One attendant swallowed hard. I did, sir. Why? She hesitated. Looked around, then quietly. She didn't look like a first-class passenger. That was it. No gasps, no protests. Just truth, ugly and exposed. The captain nodded once. That's what I thought. He turned to the woman. Ma'am, thank you for your patience. Then he faced the cabin. Ladies and gentlemen, he said calmly, this passenger was personally authorized to sit here by me. Murmurs exploded, then stopped. Not because of status, he continued. Not because of money. He paused. But because she's the lead federal auditor assigned to this airline. The silence that followed wasn't quiet. It was heavy. The color drained from the senior crew member's face. The captain didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. Every interaction from boarding to now, he said, was recorded, including the assumptions made. He turned back to the crew. You'll be submitting written statements after landing. No arguing, no excuses. Accountability had entered the cabin. The captain turned back to the woman and gestured toward her seat. You're exactly where you belong. She nodded. Nothing more. No victory smile. No satisfaction. Just dignity. As the captain returned to the cockpit, the cabin remained frozen. No one spoke. No one clapped. Because clapping would have meant pretending this was entertainment. It wasn't. It was exposure. And if this moment made you uncomfortable, like the video, because discomfort is where change starts. If you have something to say, comment below. Was this policy or prejudice? And if you believe stories like this deserve to be told without filters, subscribe. The engines roared louder. The plane began to move, and for the rest of the flight, no one said a word.